Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I just got back from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And if you hear a guitar in the background, it is a guitar in the background because it is my 15-year-old who is strumming his guitar. Now, I wanted to show you, I did two little videos that I put online I wanted to show you from my trip. The first here that you're looking at, we were walking down a path here. This is which park? It's Silver, I think it was called Silver Lake. It's right near in the Grand Tetons is where this is. Now, we're walking through this park, and they warned us there was plenty of grizzly bears and black bears, and most people carry bear spray, but I forgot my bear spray. But this is my now 9-year-old that I talk about all the time, and this is my 15-year-old that I talk about all the time. Watch what happens. There's a bear that runs across the path up there, and the people that are walking towards them don't even know it. Watch. It's a grizzly bear. So that was a pretty cool experience. What I was freaked out about was that it was one of the babies, and that's when the big grizzly bears can be really dangerous when they've got their cubs with them. And then this is just a shot I took of the Grand Tetons.
A view. That is quite the view right there. Grand Tetons.
And that is, I think that we were eating at a place called, I think it was called the Jackson Lake Lodge. And that's your view right there. Excellent view from that place, and good food too if you ever want to go to somewhere to Jackson Hole or the Grand Tetons. Okay, Rosalind Layton, I'm trying to catch up on a few things. She had written, I think, 2 articles this week. This was the other, Toward a Ripple Test at the SEC. Whole big article about it. I had, while I was in Jackson Hole, I had spent a little bit of time grabbing some clips from articles like hers and then trying to copy in a bunch of Congress people to make them aware of what the SEC was doing and have them hopefully step in and put a stop to some of this craziness. But the conclusion of her article is what I thought was really good. These are a couple of scholars. Says they're among two among many scholars which have detailed the overreach of the SEC. This thing's too big. Nobel Prize economist George Stigler introduced the term regulatory capture in 1971 in an article describing the SEC to describe how the agency came to be dominated by the interest it regulate and not by the public interest, consumers or voters. Stigler's groundbreaking study documented how the SEC systematically engaged in misinformation to justify intervention in the market. The egregious lawsuit by the SEC against Ripple has ignited outrage in the cryptocurrency community and a counter lawsuit putting the SEC itself on trial. A Ripple test could create the humility the SEC needs to determine first whether it is in the right to pursue a regulatory action. So I've been trying to make a habit of copying a lot of these Congress people in on these things when people put out good information like this. Sometimes it'll be like something John Deaton puts out, things that these lawyers or writers of these major publications are putting out. I think that it's important to put those in front of Congress. So I've been doing that a little bit. And you should too. You should retweet them and then copy in your congressman if it's things that you think they should see. Now, I was looking for, I had this kind of bookmarked here because I was looking for this. Perianne Boring from the Chamber of Digital Commerce was going to be on with Maria Bartiromo, who, by the way, I've been copying Maria Bartiromo on a lot of these things having to do with the SEC lawsuit, and she is one of the guilty media parties who is ignoring this story. I like pretty much all that she does, but in this case, she's as guilty as any of them. Now, excuse me. I think I kind of missed this on my YouTube channel over the last couple of days just because I was busy. JP Morgan's retail customers can now tap crypto, just not directly. Says the mega bank will also help retail clients invest in GBTC, this is Grayscale stuff. That's Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, their Ethereum Trust, their Bitcoin Cash Trust, Ethereum Classic Trust, as well as Osprey Bitcoin Trust through their brokerage accounts. Okay, so now JP Morgan's customers can buy Bitcoin. I retweeted all this. Barry Silbert had tweeted this. JP Morgan just became the first big bank to give retail wealth clients access to crypto funds. So I retweeted this and said the Jamie Dimon playbook. Tell everyone not to buy something for 2+ years while you buy it. Open it up to your clients 2 years later. Now all you see in the media is Bitcoin and Ethereum. What are they buying now? Can you see it? And then I put XRP, XLM, Algo, XDC. That's just a handful of the ones that I think are going to be important. But this is what they did. And if you need a little reminding, do any of you remember the great cryptocurrency conspiracy from Tika Tawari when he was on Glenn Beck's program back in, I think it was 2018, 19, somewhere in there. This is a clip where he's talking about what JP Morgan was doing while they were saying bad things about Bitcoin back in those days. Excuse me. Listen to this.
Listen.
On September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
He says it's a fraud.
It says it by anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
It's just, so unethical.
Right.
Okay, George Soros,
in January 24th, price was already down, calls Bitcoin a bubble, says Bitcoin is the worst investment in the world. Don't buy Bitcoin. Basically throws gasoline on the fire at this point. And then what do we find out? So he says bubble here.
It drops 44%.
Right. And then here in April, 2 months later, guess what we find out?
Yeah.
His $26 billion family office has approval to buy cryptocurrency.
Right. And we only knew about it publicly here. And this is the kind of thing that George Soros is famous for this, talking the sterling down.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He stole the pensions of all the little people.
Yeah, made $1 billion.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, what I want to point out for you all right here, I was just showing you what they were doing back in 2018 while they were talking down this. But now I want you to look at what they're talking up now. All we hear on CNBC, all we hear on any of the traditional media, all we hear from Jim Cramer, we're hearing it from, they've even drug Elon Musk kicking and screaming to Bitcoin and Ethereum. That we see Jack Dorsey from Twitter, any of them will talk about is Bitcoin and Ethereum. We see Mike Novogratz, every single one of them, that's all they talk about is Bitcoin and Ethereum. So against the backdrop of what you just watched, I'm here to tell you, there's a Bitcoin Ethereum conspiracy. That he was talking about the great cryptocurrency conspiracy. Well, I'm here to tell you, there's a Bitcoin Ethereum conspiracy, and the conspiracy is they all know these are not dumb people. They know now, and I'm not even saying that Bitcoin and Ethereum won't be some digital assets that exist and that appreciate over time. They probably will. But what I'm telling you is the conspiracy is the ones that they're not talking about. They're doing the same thing that you just watched in this great cryptocurrency conspiracy. They're doing the same thing, but they've been doing it for it's a longer game they're playing. I'm telling you that these people, I tweeted about it, when you find out what they actually were buying and owning behind the scenes, when all of them all of a sudden shift and they're not just talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum anymore, you just watch. It's going to happen. You're going to see how this all comes out. Okay, John Deaton, our government leaders say stupid things like cryptocurrencies are used for nefarious purposes and illegal activities such as money laundering, drug deals, tax evasion, and even terrorism. They need to protect us from crypto until they decide to utilize it. the State Department sees and this is someone saying the State Department sees a benefit of cryptocurrency. So for years, they told us about how it was just for money laundering, drug deals, and all of this. Again, the great cryptocurrency conspiracy, whatever you want to call it, but it is a conspiracy. Then, sorry, my throat's all messed up here. Then this was from Barry Silbert, and this was all true. Back during those early years, Bitcoin's terrible store of value, said Jamie Dimon, it will not survive. 2015, 2016, it's going nowhere. 2017, it's a fraud. 2018, I don't really give a shit about Bitcoin. And now he's having his clients buy it. Michelle Vandenberg sent us, and by the way, during that whole time, while he was saying all of that, I was telling you on this channel that all of them, not some of them, I was telling you way back then that all of them were going to be coming to this party. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, all of them, not some of them. And they're coming as we speak. Now, this is an interesting tweet. U.S. Treasury will suspend sale of state and local government securities on July 30th. Treasury will need to start taking certain additional extraordinary measures to prevent U.S. default if Congress does not act by August 2nd. Yellen. I told you a few weeks ago to watch this. That's interesting right there. You talk about a Ponzi scheme coming to an end. And then James Phelan, it's funny, these are all these lawyer letters. It's like a response to their response. And it's like constantly. But here's another one. Individual defendants respond to SEC's letter. So Brad Garlinghouse's and Chris Larson's defendant, their lawyers are responding to the response by the SEC about this, about the statement by Commissioners Pierce and Roisman. They described the SEC response as going on to publicly rebuke these two commissioners' considered views that there is no clarity. So as the SEC ripple turns. And then this was interesting news from this week. Amazon takes another step toward crypto with a job ad for a digital currency lead. These guys have been jumping into digital currency for a long time. No telling what kind of shoes are about to drop with Amazon. Okay, iTrustCapital had tweeted this out. This was interesting. Tax-free crypto investing is easily one of the best opportunities in the world right now. Check, that's exactly right. This person says, I do present this to people I interact with. The inability to stake and earn passive income on top of their savings is the hurdle for most, including myself. So, iTrustCapital answers this. They say these things will come as the industry matures. For now, investing in crypto within IRA 401ks is still near the peak of innovation. Passive income will arrive in the future, but timeliness are not definitive because much goes on in the background: legal, custody, security. So what they're saying is the staking and being able to earn interest inside of these IRAs, it's coming. It's just a matter of getting past some of these hurdles. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family I'm back from Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and I had a good time. Thanks for listening.